Hey folks, welcome back out here amongst the red pines. We had a nice ride out on the Skidoo this morning. You saw a few tracks coming in as well. I actually saw a turkey just off camera, but lots of coyotes, lots of white-tailed deer around. I see some rough grouse as well. I'm not sure what else is out here, but certainly a nice ride out. Now the snow did stop. It was snowing for the last 24 hours or so. If you have a look around here, you can see everything pretty much looks the same for the last while anyways. We get snow nearly daily here. And it's making it a bit treacherous, a bit challenging for me. The area that you see like down here has been cleared, so I snowblowed that. Same thing with down there. But all the other areas I haven't, well, at least not recently. I probably snowblowed them about, well, maybe a month ago. Unfortunately, I can't keep up. It's sort of a never-ending job. But with that in mind, I still made it out here. And we're going to get these tarps pushed back. We're going to get the sawmill fired up. You can see here. There it is. So that's the Clarke Model 350/38 you might have seen before. We'll get the Bluetti started. We'll get some lights on in here, and then we're going to saw those two logs. Now, you may be saying to yourself, saw those two logs. Why are they both on the log loader at once? Well, I get a question from time to time, and it comes down to productivity. And people often say, why don't you just saw two of the smaller logs at one time, as opposed to sawing one at a time? And my answer is often the same. I say it's kind of challenging with two logs at once. Now the opening on this sawmill will certainly accommodate it. I could put a 38-inch diameter log up there. But when it comes down to log handling, once these get up there, things become a little bit dicey, and I'm going to show you firsthand what I'm talking about. Now I'm not new to sawing two logs at once. Up until I had this sawmill, I was running a Woodland Mills sawmill for quite a number of years. Great sawmill. And I was sawing up to 3 logs at once. The difference is this is a hydraulic sawmill, and the other sawmill is a manual sawmill. When I was using a manual sawmill, I was able to manipulate things, roll them by hand, adjust the log stops, check on things because I was right beside it. And I'd also have to take the slabs off, the lumber off by hand. This thing does all that, and so that's where it becomes a bit tricky, as you'll see here today. But I wanted to show you firsthand what I'm talking about. So let's get the lights on and we'll get going. Here we go. Well, I think that's going to be about the only time you're seeing me do that with this sawmill. I was pretty much taking 2 steps back for every 1 forward there. Efficiency was non-existent. With those 2 logs, I could have probably cut 5 of them if they were singles, but taking the time to walk up here, rotate them by hand, that's just too much. And not to mention I was cutting slower, because when I had 2 logs clamped side by side, you might have noticed there was the tendency in the middle of those logs to want to pop up. And if that pops up when I'm trying to cut, that'll bind the blade, break the blade, who knows, but it won't be a good day. So I think that'll be the only time you see me doing that. It's just not efficient. Now, if you had a manual sawmill, the game is completely different. As I did for years, I was walking right beside the log. I could watch things real closely. And not to mention, I was loading and unloading by hand, moving the log stops, log clamps by hand as well. And because of that, you can make it work. Once you try to get the hydraulics to do all the work, the log turner, as I said, the clamps and all the rest of it, that's when it becomes an issue. Now this thing, it was trying to turn both of them, and in fact it would, no problem, but it wouldn't turn them evenly. The log that was often on that side, it would get the first attention by the log turner. It would flip it around, but the one on the inside wouldn't move. And so then I would try to crank it up further, more vertical, rotate it again, and then it wouldn't end up where I want it to be, and in fact, many times it almost fell off the sawmill, the logs that is. And so that whole episode there, yeah, it's certainly not going to work for me. It's just not efficient. So I guess what it comes down to, if you have a manual sawmill, absolutely you can saw multiple logs, assuming you have the space there between the guide blocks or the rollers. Other than that, if you got a hydraulic sawmill, you're probably better off just sawing one at a time. Even if you think you're going to get more efficiency, the number of times you're likely to rotate it successfully the same for both log is probably quite low. That is, of course, unless you're a magician or you have some sort of secret. In that case, let me know down below. But I can't figure it out. So I'm a 1 log operator here, we'll call it. And for those of you asking when the bigger logs are coming, they're coming. I've got them. It's just, as you know, this year has been one heck of a ride. And I'm trying to get out from under it. I'm sawing what I've got already at the sawmill, trying to dig my way through the snow to get to the rest of the logs. But I do have big ones out there, and I will get them up here before too long. So that's going to do it for me here today. If you have any questions at all about sawing multiple logs on this or a manual sawmill, as I said, I did that for years with my Woodland Mills HM130 and the Woodland Mills HM130 Max after that, and that worked out quite well. So put those questions down below. If you did like this video, if you want to see more sawing or splitting or log gathering with my log trailer you saw there behind me, be sure to subscribe as well, and hopefully I see you next time.